Attunement is garbage and I house ruled it out of both of my games. Welcome to the Twisted Pint Tavern. Today we're visiting our YouTube comments and Discord server to find the drama, the type of stuff that makes your blood boil. This is the D&D Hot Takes video part 3. Just like before, I'm going to be rating all of these on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being about as cool as Never Melt Ice and 1 being about as hot as, well, you know, Dragonfire. You should be able to smite with an unarmed strike. Slapping someone across the face and having a thunderclap sound off would be a potent intimidation tool. Yeah, excuse me while I bitch slap this man with the power of God. I'm gonna rate this one a 2 out of 10 on the hot take scale because I think it's a good take, like a pretty solid, fits everything cool take. So pretty low on the scale, which means it's actually good. Cause I mean, what's the downside on smiting with an unarmed strike, really? Played D&D for a few years, now having a blast in Pathfinder 2nd Edition right now. It's honestly much more simple to DM and play. The simplicity though comes only after a few sessions, cause there's a bit more to the mechanics. I'm gonna rate this one like a 6 out of 10 on the hot take scale, cause there's nothing wrong with the take. You play whatever system you prefer, but talking about D&D hot takes and then suggesting a new system does make it a little bit of a hot take. Luck should be a stat, and perhaps when the adventurers are looting the bandits, someone's lucky crossbow could be a +1 weapon. I do love the idea of the +1, the minorly enchanted items being quote lucky items. Like that kind of makes sense why it's just a really small amount of magic that could really just be attributed to, hey, this is my lucky crossbow. I think that's super cool. Luck as a stat though, I mean, there are some other RPG systems that use it, so I could see it being good and I could see some people not liking it. I'd say a 3 out of 10. Speaking of luck, I want to try my luck at something real quick. We are getting close to 1,000 subscribers and that is absolutely mind-blowing. According to YouTube though, 82% of the people who watch these videos aren't subscribed. So if you want to help us reach the 1K milestone and beyond, take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button. Plus, each subscription gets a free drink in the tavern, so what do you have to lose? Here's mine, multiclassing should be excluded, not even an optional rule. I think this one's going all the way up to an 8 out of 10 on the hot take scale. That is a hot take. I mean, I like multi-classing. I think it can get excessive if you're like triple or quadruple dipping into classes, but even then, if you do it right and you're having fun, what's the downside? Here's my hot take. Aasimar and Tiefling should be separate ancestries of the same one race. Huh. You know, I think you have a point. I think this hot take is correct. I'm gonna say 6 out of 10 just because you're combining a couple races, but I like that. Ranger was and still is good. Revising it and giving variant optional features weren't necessary. They have great range and melee potential, but also have decent damn half casting. Favored terrain and foe is really just something to further a story or bring a bit of extra life to the character. Work with the DM for that. Yeah, no, I'm gonna say this one's like a 4 out of 10 because I agree, I think Rangers are great. There are people who don't like them and they're definitely a campaign-specific class, but they're a lot of fun to play and you can really roleplay a lot of that rugged survivalist nature, or you can also just play, hey, look at me, I'm Aragorn. The Wizard's Necromancy subclass is OP because you can make extra undead, buff undead, and heal with your necromancy kills. One graveyard or a handful of bandits and the player has several zombies who can easily take down future enemies and have a higher likelihood of succeeding their undead fortitude. Yeah, I think I'm gonna give this one also a 4 out of 10 because saying that a class is OP typically brings some kind of scrutiny, but the whole point of necromancy and the darker magics is that they are supposed to be very powerful for what they are, because you kind of have a higher cost typically to doing that, as in oftentimes your soul, but the wizard being able to just pick up necromancy spells without really much investment and create an undead army definitely does have a little bit of balance concern, I think. My current campaign doesn't do components, and it's considerably more fun. Of course, the whole thing is a big old goofy clusterfuck where I play a treant bard who manipulated the politics of our main town so that a raccoon is now mayor, which violates the tenets of the trash treaty between the raccoons and crows, causing the crows to break the primordial totems of the crow god and usher in the garbage-mageddon/trashpocalypse. It's a good time. I wasn't expecting that from a hot take, I'll be honest. Not doing components, that's like a 6 out of 10, I think, because there are some spells, you know, I'm gonna say 7 out of 10. There are some spells that, my God, if you don't have the component requirements, that is busted, and I don't like that. But I also get with, like, especially the lower level campaigns, I mean, spell component pouches are pretty much a fix-all for most of that anyway. The Garbage Mageddon and the treaty between the raccoons and crows, that's getting a solid 10 out of 10, not on the hot take scale, just on the fact that I like it. Repelling Blast should be allowed raw. As in, Repelling Blast, the invocation should automatically be included with Eldritch Blast, where I think that's the one where you knock people back. I don't know about that one. I don't think Eldritch Blast needs any buffs, at all. 7 out of 10. I don't think we should touch Eldritch Blast. If you're going to play a sword and sorcery game, no guns. This one's like a 6 out of 10. A lot of people agree with you, there's no need for guns, and in most of my games, there aren't guns. But sometimes you play a game with guns, and sometimes people want to be a gunslinger. They want to be the cowboy in a fantasy world. And does that necessarily fit? Maybe not, but if people have fun doing it, then go for it. Attunement is garbage, and I house ruled it out of both of my games. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10, that is a hot take. Because attunement is a balance mechanic, and I agree that some items requiring attunement doesn't make sense. I will house rule that, certain items don't require attunement, so you can use them without the attunement slot, but removing attunement entirely, that's just asking for problems. Also, how many magic items are you giving your players to where they have an issue with attunement slots? Like, having it to where it's like, oh, well, I already have all 3 filled and I just picked up another cool item, which one do I want to do? I could see that debate, but if you're running into the issue consistently of I'm full on attunement slots, and especially if you're early in the campaign, I think you're handing out too many magic items. Now on to the next part of the hot takes, taken directly from our Tavern's Oven in the Twisted Pint Tavern Discord. You can join with the link in the description. Speaking of the Discord server, we're hosting a D&D tournament there. Anyone can sign up and all participants will fight in a bracketed tournament for the #1 spot. The fights will also be streamed live in the server. Character creation and sign up ends June 28th, so hurry into the Twisted Pint Tavern Discord and get on the list. Hot take, starting your adventure in a tavern is totally cool and not at all overdone. And no, I'm not biased. My, what excellent gentleman's take is this? Could it possibly be someone affiliated with the tavern? It's mine. Every D&D group should have a rules lawyer. Just make sure they're chaotic good and not lawful neutral. This one, I think I'm gonna say is a 7 out of 10 because people hear the term rules lawyer and they freak out, but that's because everyone thinks of the bad kind of rules lawyer. I personally agree with you. I think every game should have a rules lawyer that's not the DM, someone who's well-versed in the rules and can help out with rulings or kind of say, hey, maybe this works this way in a light and kind way. Because sometimes, I'm the DM, I forget stuff all the time. I know a lot of the rules and then someone will ask me something or how to do something and I have no clue how it's supposed to work. And I can spend time Googling, or I can look it up, or I can make something up, or I can turn to the rules lawyer and say, hey, how's this supposed to work? So they are very handy to have at your table as long as they don't just absolutely trash everything. If the DM wants to paralyze you, accept it. It's probably plot. You drug it out for 2 hours of combat to end up in the same angry pit of a big bad anyway. So this gets into the concept of railroading, which people really don't like. So I'm gonna rate this one like a 6 out of 10. But again, I agree with you and I'm gonna explain. So I don't think DMs should fully railroad games. I think that it takes away player agency, you shouldn't do that. But sometimes to get to plot point B, you have to hit plot point A, and sometimes the party just doesn't want to hit plot point A, and so you kind of have to make something happen. This can be remedied if the party plays along with the plot a little bit more, but again, I'm not talking about a railroad. I'm saying that the DM has a story, and sometimes that story needs certain things to happen to progress, and if the party is doing everything they can to just not let these things happen, it's just gonna drag stuff out. Am I saying you should take away your player's agency and paralyze them? No. But at the same time, if your DM says and you all are paralyzed, maybe trust that they're not just trying to screw you over and it's plot related. Hot take, party has to fix up the whole multiverse with multiple beings from different dimensions and current dimension equals chaos. Yeah, that sounds like chaos. I don't know that that's a hot take. I think that that's just a fact. 2 out of 10 because it seems like it's common sense, but also I admire the spice of the multiverse. Getting stabbed for the story's sake ain't so bad all the time. Yeah, taking damage and getting hurt happens, and sometimes getting critically injured or dying actually really helps further the story and create a more immersive experience. And to touch on the railroady thing a little bit too, If the DM says and someone comes up behind you and stabs you in the back, maybe don't say, well, did they beat my AC? Well, hang on, I have alert, I can't be surprised. Like, yes, those are things that need to be considered, but also, sometimes you just get stabbed in the back and it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's a bad thing, but you know what I mean. This one I'm gonna say like 5 out of 10. Again, there's like 50% of people who are gonna completely disagree with you, and then there's like 50% of people who are gonna be like, yeah, that's part of the game. You know, I love these hot take videos. They're a lot of fun because especially when I get to read your guys' input and then like rate them, it's a ton of fun. I have a blast with it. So feel free to let me know in the comments or the Twisted Pint Tavern Discord server what your D&D hot takes are. If you do that, they might make it into the next video, and I promise to be relatively nice. But that's gonna do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you've not done so already, and click that bell icon to be notified of the second that we upload a video to the Twisted Pint Tavern. Don't forget to join the Twisted Pint Tavern Discord server so you can sign up for the D&D tournament, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Wait, do you smell that? Oh shit, I think I left some hot takes in the oven.